What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon jumping back in for our final preview video of round one for the Six Nations 2025. We've already done these videos for France versus Wales and Ireland versus England. They're up on the channel. You can go check those ones out after this one if you haven't already. This one going to be for Scotland versus Italy, which, considering there's some big games on this weekend, this might be the one I'm looking forward to see the most. Genuinely, as just a rugby fan, you know, everyone has their team they support and what have you. But as a rugby fan, these are two teams I'm genuinely really excited to see where they are at going into this competition, because they've got two totally different years last year, and this game last year was a huge result for Italy, getting a win over Scotland. It was one of their two wins in the Six Nations. You know, it was a big time for Italy last year, and Scotland will be looking to bounce back, come back at this game hard and aim for a win. Italy might target this one and be like, this is the one. If we can take this one 2 years in a row, big result for them. I think this is going to be a really exciting game. We're going to take a look at the team, who's some good picks, some questionable picks, some changes we might have made along the way, go over some predictions on how we think this game might go, and some score predictions and what have you. I'll mention as well, for some people looking to sign up to the Fantasy League, there is all sorts of fantasy. There's a whole video up on the channel about how to join in with the Fantasy Leagues if you're new to it. I'm also going to do a video tomorrow about building a fantasy team and how you go around doing all that sort of stuff. The league got full. We have so many people signed up to get involved for the first time, or maybe old veterans of the fantasy. We've had to extend the limit of players. I've got in contact with Six Nations. They've now extended our pool to 1,000 players. So everyone get in, join in. It's free. It really adds a lot to the Six Nations for you. But all of that out of the way, let's get in and talk about this game. Starting out, home team Scotland, who last year lost this fixture in one of those games that trips me up in a Six Nations. Why I love the Six Nations, because you can just have all the predictions and your own level of knowledge. Bang! In comes this game and threw me out completely. They're coming with a really loaded side, which is good to see for this one. Going over their games from last year, it's really hard for me to tell where this Scotland team is. They've got big scores, big wins, but it leaves the question for me of, are they being tested to really gauge where this is at? And if you're being uncharitable, oh, what do you mean untested? Like, if you're a rugby fan, you know what that means, right? You take a look at the sort of teams they played last year. Huge win over Canada. Huge win over USA. Huge win over Chile. Good win over Uruguay. A pretty huge win over Fiji. Huge win over Portugal. You know, the results are there. The results are there. Big, big score lines coming through for them. But in terms of when you talk about like the Six Nations teams, top 10 teams in the world and what have you, you know, those teams just aren't the right rivalry and the right competition for this Scotland team, and being able to judge where they're going to be at going into the Six Nations. And I'm really looking forward to see the benchmark, and I think Italy's a great benchmark for it, because I think Italy will target this game really, really hard, or at least really should do, because being able to take this one 2 years in a row would be a good game for them. And Scotland should take it seriously. And they are doing, because it's a fully stacked team, and that's what we love to see. So starting out in this front row then, Pierre Schoeman going in alongside Dave Cherry, Xander Fagerson. Scrum, all important. You know, Italy love a good scrum, so Scotland got a matchup. That's probably about as I don't know, maybe Dave Cherry really sort of got into that hooker position at one point. Ewan Ashman, you know, we've had like George Turner was hooker as well. I'm not sure who is currently the front runner for Scottish hookers at the minute, but in terms of your prop department, Schooner and Fagerson for me absolutely are your top two guys there. Lock department, Johnny Gray going in alongside Grant Gilchrist. It's a hard-working lock department who, you know, Italy have got some players in their line-out section now that really cause a nuisance. They really begin to mess you up, so you've got to have that hard graph. Someone like Grant Gilchrist does work very, very hard all around the pitch. Doesn't get talked about a lot from commentary teams, but he works really, really hard. Back row then. Very interesting choices here. Now, Jamie Ritchie and Rory Darge is what I expected, 6-7. Matt Fagerson got the nod here over Jack Dempsey. And I kind of threw me a bit. I wouldn't have been surprised to have seen Matt Fagerson at 6 and Jack Dempsey at 8. And wanting to carry the ball hard themselves, because that Italian team's up for a physical game. Jamie Ritchie, it can carry the ball well. When I think of Jamie Ritchie, I think of him more for the breakdown technique, the jackal work that he's going to be looking for, getting involved with the ball. Maybe that's an implementation done. They're looking for Matt Fagerson to be the big carrier, and someone like Rory Darge and Jamie Ritchie are going to be there purely for stopping an Italian attack. They're looking for that breakdown work. They're looking to poach the ball. They're looking to try and shut Italy off. If you kept track of sort of the stats from last year's Six Nations, with the speed at the ruck that Italy play with was one of their best assets. And they love getting the ball out quickly and sort of cycling these attacks. So maybe that's actually a good move to have had those two guys in there who are used as good poachers, good jacklers. Try and get that ball back, slow down the Italian ruck, let your defence reset. I really thought Jack Dempsey would have got in at the start, but not to be. Halfback partnership, Ben White going alongside Finn Russell. For some reason, I had it in my head that going into this tournament, that Ben White was still suffering with a little bit of a twinge. I thought George Horn would be getting a bit of a nod here. But Ben White's in, he's fit. Awesome, fantastic. It might be that I'm completely wrong. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. But Ben White getting in is a solid scrum half, so one I really, really enjoy. Finn Russell, always a buzz of excitement, right? Who doesn't love a bit of Finn Russell in the Six Nations, right? I was watching the full contact thing on Netflix the other day, and the whole thing with the Messi of rugby came up again. Love it all. Love all that nonsense going on with rugby. It's a good halfback combo for Scotland. Centre partnership. Stafford McDowell coming in alongside Hugh Jones. They lost Tui Pelotu to injury weeks before the Six Nations, and I think even questions for like Lions are a big question mark for him now, whether he'll be back for that as well. So I could have seen him getting in that Lions team. He should absolutely be in the Scotland team. His form has been immense in that inside centre position. So big boots to fill now for Stafford McDowell coming in, but looking forward to seeing a bit of a slightly different combo pairing in that centre. Hugh Jones is always a dangerous runner, just hitting those gaps, and he is away. So I'm looking forward to still see that work out. Hopefully, they're going to be able to cope without the Huey Pelotu combo that we've been so used to for a good while now, to be fair. And then in that back three, this is solid all-round. Duhan van der Merwe, Darcy Graham, Blair Kinghorn in that fullback shot. Now, Blair Kinghorn, is want to talk about that. I watched that full contact, like I said, and they interviewed him like before and after the Italy game, and he was shattered, I think, by the idea that some of his mistakes is what led to that Italy win. Mistakes made by him lead to the try eventually and stuff. So redemption arc for Blair Kinghorn here, who maybe in air quotes, maybe lucky to still be getting inside because players are performing. Tom Jordan did well to step in. Kyle Rowe, I think, is also able to do the fullback role as well, right? So there's competition, and competition's good for those shirt numbers. Darcy Graham and Duhan van der Merwe, they've got their own competition for top try scorer going on. There's lots of big things going on in this Scotland team. It's a stacked side. It's nice to see they're taking this game seriously. I'm certainly looking at fantasy leagues and stuff. I can see a couple of these Scottish boys I'm looking at for my team as well. Replacements then: Ewan Ashman, Rory Sutherland, Will Hurd coming in there. That's a decent front row to come on in that second half as well, which is nice. You don't want to take your foot off the gas with Italy at this point in time anymore. They're no longer the 60-minute team. They will keep going and keep going. You've got to at least have a good front row to go on and deal with those scrums in the second half. Gregor Brown and Jack Dempsey filling out the rest of the forwards. They've gone for the 5-3, which makes me think they want to play wider, which I think is better. I think Italy like the contact game. They like the physicality game. Doing a 6-2 kind of like, yeah, let's play the forward. Let's play the breakdown. Let's do a bit of that. And then bang, Montiwani or Capozzo runs down the wing out of nowhere, and all your big forwards are tied up. You're all a bit knackered and stuff. 5-3, look to play wide yourselves. Look to play a bit more expansive. I think is probably still a good way to play against Italy. George Horn, Tom Jordan, and Kyle Rowe sealing out those backs for a bit of excitement in that second half. I wouldn't be surprised if they came on maybe a little bit earlier than people expect. You do see 70 minutes or so in a new winger or something going on. I assume Tom Jordan is them. He can come in at 10. He can come in at 10. I assume they're looking for him as fullback coverage. I assume Blair Kinghorn can also play 10. So there's a lot of jigging around. There's actually really nice malleability in that Scotland team. Actually, the more I think about it, just from seeing it as initial reaction, I think that's a good Scotland team, and I think they should have quite a lot of confidence coming into it. They had some big results last year, but got to turn up for a Six Nations game that got away from them last year. Moving on then to Italy. Italy, who's just a team I love, man. I really enjoy it. If you've been with the channel long enough, I've always enjoyed Italy. I've enjoyed seeing that progression. It's been slow progression. There's been plenty of talks about, they keep saying Italy will eventually begin to be. They are getting there. They're beginning to have this synergy now. They had that young team, and they started basically from scratch a few years back, and they kept losing every game. But having such a young team is now beginning to build that these guys are playing with each other more and more and more and more. And they're certainly a team to keep your eye on. Now, I'm over in Wales. Italy are a team to watch out for by all means as well. And they, this, I think this should be a target game for Italy. I think the Wales one is one Italy want to win. I think that's a game they can stamp down on and get some authority in that game and say, yep, we beat Wales back to back, because Wales are just still in that rocky boat. They haven't quite, worked themselves out. I think Italy can look to Wales and be like, we can take that one. Taking on Scotland back to back, big result for them. And I absolutely think this is a game they should target. And luckily they've gone for the big setup team as well. So hopefully they do step up. In the front row then, Danilo Fischetti, Nico Terra, and Simone Ferrari. Lucchesi's on the bench. I did think Lucchesi might be starting, but Nico Terra starting in that hooker position. Danilo Fischetti, someone who's busy as ever in terms of approach. He's really along there with Thomas Gaggio for Argentina. I kind of put them in the same boat. Big ball-carrying loose heads that really get involved at breakdown work. And the role of prop has changed so much in the last few years. And lads like this, are the sort of epitome of the newer props going through, which is great to see. Lock department, Dino Lamb and Federico Ruzza, two boys that I really enjoyed. Dino Lamb was so unfortunate that he didn't get a superb run at sort of Six Nations and international. He had his own injuries and stuff. Federico Ruzza is someone I've spoken about a lot in the last few years for some big performances. And maybe he didn't have quite the Six Nations last year that I was expecting, but he's one of those players I mentioned about the lock department for Scotland. He is one of the ones to watch out for, because we will absolutely get involved. Back row then, Sebastian Negri goes in alongside of Romaro, the captain, and Lorenzo Canone. His brother Nicolo is on the bench, not starting this week, but big carrying number 8. This is the back row now. For me, is what is stamped down. Someone I am really looking forward to seeing back in. This man down here, Ross Vincent. Was another one I'm like, I want to see him have good amount of time in this game. I think that's the right starting back row. But second half, somebody to keep your eye out for is Ross Vincent. If you're new to sort of the Italian team, monster pace, absolutely unreal pace for a back rower. And I want to see him come on 50 minutes, 55 minutes. I would assume for Sebastian Negri, I would imagine in terms of, or maybe Lorenzo Canone, wherever he's going to slot in. But I'm just trying to think about how you move those players around, because I'm not sure Sebastian Negri for the full 80 had his own battles with injuries and stuff last year as well. So would like to see that switch up as well. Halfback partnership, Pajarello goes in alongside of Paolo Garbisi. The brothers Antigella Alessandro's on the bench for this one, but Pajarello also been playing well. The scrum half's actually got decent depth at the minute for Italy, which is nice to see. Centre combo, Menincello and Nacho Brex going in the 12 and 13. Menincello got the Six Nations Player of the Year, and I think absolutely was up there for me. Brex was your boy last year in the Six Nations. I thought he was phenomenal. But Menincello, a younger lad, breakthrough player. He's a big old unit for a younger lad playing that number 12. It's a dangerous centre combo to watch out for. And now with Tui Pelotu out on the Scotland side, big battle going on in that midfield. Back three, Monty Iwani going alongside of Andrew Capuozzo and Tommaso Allan back in the 15. I do know that Matt Gallagher got into the team, and I thought maybe Matt Gallagher would get in the 15, or Capuozzo would be full back, and they might have looked at Simone Jesse going in there in the wing, and I would have looked like that as well. Tommaso Allan, though, solid head on his shoulders. You know what he can offer. Can move to the 10 if you need him to. Good kicking at the back. And Capuozzo, a very talented player. I like him on the wing. I have said it before. I think when he plays fullback, he's not doing the fullback work. He's good on the backfield, but just wants to run. And sometimes he has options outside of him, but he's always looking to go himself, and he's always doing that. I know he's playing well at club level and what have you. I prefer him on the wing. I think it's a nice move. Tommaso Allan, just to have a bit more awareness of that backfield coverage and a bit more of sometimes a team mentality, as opposed to the youngster who's just looking to go. I think it's the right move. And then in terms of the replacements, then Lucchesi, Rizzoli, and Riccioni coming in there. Rizzoli's a newer name for me. I don't know one I know someone to look out for me in the Italian team. Niccolo Canoni, Manuel Zuliani, and Ross Vincent, 6'2" for these Italian boys. This is what I said about the Scotland team. Went for the 5'3", and I was like, go wide, play wide, don't get involved with the physicality. Italy gone 6'2". They want the physicality. Let's lock it down. Let's stick within the forwards and stuff. I think that's the two different game plans we'll see for this one. And then Alessandro Garbisi and Simone Jesse, who's a guy. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right, by the way. I've heard commentators pronounce it Gessi or Jesse. depending on who it is. I'm going to go with Jesse. If you're Italian, give me a phonetic spelling in English. Help me improve my pronunciations. But someone I saw in the under-20s, carving up teams. Absolutely rapid. Can't wait to see him on. Again, another one I hope gets good game time. I might even like to see him come on for Montiuani. I know Montiuani is always the staple winger for Italy. Puts a good amount of game time in. But Montiuani, for me, does have hit and miss games where he's either scored 3 tries or he's not touched the ball. So I would like to see if he's having one of those games where he's maybe not getting his hands on the ball enough. Get this youngster on. Get this youngster on. Give him some game time at 11, or Cabral took over to 11 and let him play 14. You know, do some switch around on the wings and get him on, because it's a very, very exciting Italy team. I'm really looking forward to see them. You know, I don't like to play favourites when I do the videos and stuff for the channel. I just like to talk about rugby. But Italy is a team I enjoy so much watching, and I really want to see them do well. And that team is certainly increasing in ability. Predictions for this game. How do we see this one going? For all the things I've said positive there about Italy and the way they're going, I think this is a game Scotland will be taking extremely seriously. After losing this fixture last year, now playing at home, Murrayfield crowd, they've loaded up the team as well. They've got a big game. Scotland are going on to play Ireland in round 2. You know, and injury concerns that can come from this game will carry on towards that game against Ireland. You know, but they haven't risked it. They've put out the big team versus Italy. I think it shows where Italy are at with coming up, but also how Scotland are wanting to deal with this one. I'm still thinking Scotland are going to take this one. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually a lot closer than, you know, what people would have predicted a couple of years back for this sort of fixture. I'm going to say Scotland to win this game, and I think they might get a couple of early scores. Which just pushes that scoreline out, and Italy might play a bit of catch up. I'm going to say Scotland to take this one. I'm going to go by 12. I'm actually going to say a little bit more than what I was thinking. I'm actually going to go a little bit upwards, because I feel like you can never predict the Six Nations and they always end up, you know, throwing me off anyway. I'm going to go a bit more than what I was expecting and actually say 12. But it's an Italy team that has been known to cause an upset in the Six Nations in terms of your odds-on favourites and what have you going into matches. Really looking forward to this one. Cannot wait. Hopefully you guys are all excited for the Six Nations. Let me know what you guys think of the teams that have been announced, any changes you would have made along the way, your own score predictions. Make sure you're getting all your lock-ins on Super Brew Fantasy predictions, the official fantasy. Lock them all in now, because teams are fully out. We are ready to go. Six Nations kicking off Friday night. Cannot wait for it. I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.